Welcome back to Believe in Ravens podcast. Daniel Wilcox, Matt Trigger. We have a special guest tonight for this episode, brought to you by Bet Online AG, the number one most trusted online sports wagering platform. You can find them online at Bet Online AG BetOnline underscore AG on all social media platforms. Number one trusted source for all of your in-game live wagering. Daniel, this week we play the New York Giants in the Meadowlands, and we are a 16-point favorite opening up as of tonight, Wednesday night, and the over-under is 42.5. So they have the Ravens as a 2-touchdown plus favorite for this game. How does that make you feel knowing how the season's going so far?
Man, I think it's correct. We should come out on fire. I think it should be more than 2 touchdowns. The Giants are not playing great right now. I think they're tanking the rest of their season to try to grab the best draft pick they can get. And now that they got rid of their quarterback, I don't see why we shouldn't beat them by at least 3 touchdowns. It's time for the Ravens to start making a statement, and this will be a great game to make that statement.
Absolutely. And the over-under being 42.5, and it could very, very well be the situation where the Ravens eclipse 42 points by themselves. So this is an interesting point spread to see how that is, structured on Bet Online. But you can, hit Bet Online AG for all of your sports wagering needs, and we will be right back with former running back of the New York Giants, Brandon Jacobs. He will join us next here on Believe in Ravens. Welcome back to Believe in Ravens, folks. Daniel Wilcox, Matt Trigger here. We have a very special guest. This is New York Giants week here on the show. We have one of the best running backs in New York Giants history. The man beast himself was infamous for running over pretty much everybody in his path for the entirety of his career in the NFL. Brandon Jacobs. Brandon, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It's just an honor, man. I appreciate you and Danny bringing me on.
Hey, Brandon, man, I know you got 2 sons, right?
Yes.
Yeah, are both of them in high school?
Yes. I have a senior and I have a freshman.
Okay, the senior is playing offensive line?
Yeah, he plays offensive tackle for Milton High School, leaving shortly to get ready to play in the state championship here.
Okay.
In the Mercedes-Benz on Tuesday.
Okay, Milton. Go ahead, Milton. I say you.
And then leaving for Clemson, man.
He going to Clemson? That's where he committed?
Yeah.
Awesome. How big is he? Look like he's about 6'9", about freaking 300.
6'8", 340, 335, 340.
Wow.
Like
He's a grown-ass man.
Wow.
Yeah, man. 17 years old.
Yeah, I got a chance to play with, of course, Jonathan Ogden for 5 years and Orlando Brown, Zeus, for 5 years. So I got a chance to see Zeus' son when he was about 14 years old. I was 6'3". I was 6'3", maybe 225 when I was playing tight end for the Ravens. And Zeus was probably 6'3", about 220 at 14. So it's, when you got big kids, dog.
That's right, though. That's about right. That's Brady. 14, he was 6'4", 270.
Yeah.
Something around there.
Absolutely unbelievable, boy. Brandon, I know for those that don't know, Brandon has he's been doing like little league football since he retired here in Atlanta, the Milton Alpharetta area for a long time, and of course he named his team the Giants. So they was out there manhandling all these other little kids. Look, North Atlanta Giants, there they go, baby. He was out there manhandling all the rest of these little kids. The only team when my son was playing on the Atlanta Ducks, and he was with Coach B, and they was like one of the only little league teams that was just running through everybody else. Brandon team is kind of, Brandon team was kind of the same, and just murdering people, bunch of man child.
It was solid. No, we actually had some really good competition when we played, man.
Yeah.
I got 19 of them boys up that team going to college to play football, going to school for free, man. 19 kids, man. Out of 28 we had.
I love it. Do you keep in touch with all of them, Brandon?
Oh, yeah, man. We getting ready to go out here Friday night. I'm going to send them off to school pretty good, man. Link up with them and just see how life is treating them and tell them all I love them and go let them go their way.
Got you. So your youngest son, what is he playing?
My youngest son is a defensive end. He sat out the last 2 years due to some knee stuff he had. Got hurt at a camp at Georgia. And he did some damage to it, but a lot of it was just OCD is what they called it. And, he had surgery. It was hurt. His knee hurt him a little bit his 8th grade year. So we didn't let him play. So we had the surgery after that. And then I sat him out this freshman year because it didn't matter. So I'm letting him go turn up this season, man.
Okay. What's his name? Your youngest name?
Quinn. It's Quinn Jacobs. He's defensive. Right now, he's about 6'2", probably about 215, somewhere around there, 14 years old. So I think he'll probably be 6'5", 6'4", 6'5" when it's all said and done, about 270. Somewhere. I'm kind of like me, coming off the edge, playing defensive end. I think that's what he'll be with it.
Love it. And so neither one of them decided to play running back.
Yeah, well, he started off playing running back, and I stopped that. I stopped that. I told his coach, I said, don't give him the ball no more. Yeah. One, he don't have that skill set. And 2, I don't need him being hit on like that because he tried to just run over everybody. Right. And I didn't want him to take the punishment like that. And he didn't have the skill set to kind of avoid anybody. So I was like, nah, you don't need to do that.
Got you. Well, since we're talking about big running backs, we got one of our own over here in Baltimore. And he kind of reminds me a lot of you, to be honest with you.
Yes,
like when we signed Derrick Henry, I was like, Lord, we got our own Brandon Jacobs. You the first person that kind of popped into my head and in my mind. Besides you, the only big backs I remember seeing in the league at the time, I think, was Eddie George, and then Jerome Bettis, of course, but he was kind of short, stocky. And then, of course, we had Jamal Lewis back in the day when I first got to Baltimore.
Steven Jackson.
Steven Jackson. But Steven was more of a tall, skinny guy, though, if I remember correctly. But Brandon was low.
Steven was about 6'3", about 235, 240 now.
Yeah, was he?
Oh, yeah.
I remember him when he was in the Rams, number 39 with the Rams. I remember him.
Yeah, he had some weight to him, man.
And he was a low.
Quickness, was good out the backfield on third down. Steven, one of the best, man.
Yeah, you know who the other one was? You just reminded me when you started talking about Steven was the guy from Seattle, Alexander.
Sean Alexander.
Oh, yeah. He did everything, man. That guy, he was
phenomenal.
He was the offense in Seattle for years, man.
Yeah, completely. When you see Derrick Henry run, what do you see when you see him? What do you think about when you see him? What kind of back is he in your eyes since you're a running back guy and you've been doing this thing forever?
Well, when I look at Derrick run, man, it's a thing of joy for real. When I look at it, it's always good to see a big guy moving with the football. But one of the things that set Derrick apart from me and all these other guys we just compared him to was work ethic. He has a tremendous work ethic. He doesn't take time off. He doesn't. He sacrifices all his time. Some of the things he do, I follow him on Instagram. Some of the things he does when he's training for the season, he get ready for the season. I sit and I look, I'm like, man, I wonder what I could have been if I'd have put that type of work in. But again, we didn't have all this type of stuff that these guys have and the stuff that they're using and stuff like that. So Derrick set himself apart from the rest of this big running back group by far, just by the way he trained in the offseason and the way he run. He's a physical runner, crazy stiff arm, crazy speed in the open field. And people wouldn't know how fast he is because he doesn't look fast when he's running. He doesn't look like one of those guys that got these fast twitch muscles that you can look at and be like, man, he's moving. He is really like he getting the open field, and to know he can still do that at this age is a beautiful thing, man. I'm a big fan of Derrick. I love watching him run, and I always salute him.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. He kind of had a long stride. He's a long strider, so he's not a real fast twitchy guy. And I think that's what set him apart from him and Saquon Barkley. When you watch Saquon, you see all the twitchiness and all the the explosive movements real quick. Derrick has explosive movements, but they're more elongated versus short twitchy movements. So yeah, I can agree with you on that as well. I think his best attribute may be that stiff arm. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, that's stiff arm.
I haven't seen him like straight just
run somebody over.
Or you know what I'm saying? But that stiff arm is almost and you know what? And I like that, which is why he's still playing. He's still playing at a high level because he didn't take the punishment. He didn't, barrel through people running through, dropping his shoulders and stuff like that. He kept them off of him. He keep them off of him. He keep them at a distance, make them look bad, and he continue running. Just still a physical running style. So that's probably why he is still playing because he doesn't take a whole bunch of punishment.
He really does.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that too, Brandon, because I can remember I used to have a stiff arm when I was in high school and stuff like that. But as I got into college, I don't know. I think I just kind of stopped sticking my arm out there. I don't know if it was for protection. I would rather shoot the flipper or just kind of get low to kind of barrel roll it a little bit or whatever. But I stopped giving the stiff arm, and I think you're 100% correct. I think it's definitely elongated his career because one of the things you was talking about your son earlier, you didn't want to see your son take all that punishment. And I always advise parents, if you're gonna get your kid playing football early, go flag. Get him in flag. Let him learn how to avoid hits before you put him in pads, and then he has to start taking hits. So by the time he get in pads, hopefully he'll know how to avoid 90% of the hits that he would take if he didn't play flag football. So Derek obviously was a flag guy growing up because he used that stiff arm to perfection, and you can't even use a stiff arm in flag football. That's the crazy part, right? But I think he's kind of mastered the ability to keep people off him as he's running by using the stiff arm with long arms like that.
He's done a great job, man. I'm always a fan. It's always him and Saquon Barkley to me.
Saquon's
like my little brother, man. We talk, and I'm glad he's doing the stuff he's doing now. It's just tremendous watching him and Derek both do it. Do what they do. I tried to use a stiff arm, man, when I was in my third year against the Patriots, week 17. I've been doing it the whole season. And I missed. Well, I didn't miss. When I went to stick the stiff arm out,
you knocked it
my
down.
middle finger got caught in the two little rails on top of the helmet right here?
The little bars.
Caught in there on Rodney Harrison. I got caught in there trying to keep me from pushing him down to the ground. So he trying to move his head, and my finger was stuck in there, man. I tore every ligament in my hand, had to have surgery after the Super Bowl. It was some of the worst pain I had, and I said after that, I'm never sticking it out there ever again. I'm done. Run through
that just sounds painful.
What that finger look like now? Let me see what it look like right now.
I don't have the straight hand finger now, but it's right here, man.
The straight hand finger?
The straight hand finger. When it finger
it be turned all sideways.
Like
all
the
these
ball,
guys got these thumbs that go here.
The Brian Baldinger fingers.
There. Like I don't have them.
Yeah.
I told my son at tackle, when he playing tackle, I said, "You're gonna have those fingers." Yeah,
I got that one finger right there that don't work no more because I had to get the tendon taken out. I kind of did the same thing you did, but I was running down against Cincy and I made a tackle and the whole tendon popped off the tip of the finger, and now I had to get it cut out and get it removed at the end of the season. Yeah, so I know the pain, brother. I feel you.
Yeah, man. I said I'm not ever sticking it out there again, and I know how bad the finger pain was. This is funny. I'm gonna tell you a funny story about my son.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, man, he goes down. He gets hurt, and he's on the ground. He's on the ground, and he knows how tough-minded I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go down. I go down there, and he's like, "I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm good." I'm like, "So what's wrong with you?" He said, "Honestly, I hurt my thumb. I didn't hurt my leg. I hurt my thumb. I just didn't want you to say I was soft because I hurt my thumb." Dude, you don't have to worry about me saying that about the hand because I know how much pain comes through the hand. A jammed finger trying to catch a football, that hurts.
Yes, sir.
Man, so you don't have to do that. I get it. I understand. I played the game. So I know you don't have to do that. You can come off the field holding your hand. I'm like, I'm Braden, right?
Yeah, but you got to get up.
I understand, man. Trust me.
Me too. Yeah. Me too. I understand too.
That's crazy, man. He didn't let you down, Dad.
Yeah, man, and it's crazy, man. He's just a great kid, man. He's worked hard since the age of 6 within the sport of football. Has kept his grades up to top tier. But, he's done phenomenal. He had 38 offers. Ended up choosing Clemson in the end. So, 2 hours away from here. Now I got my youngest son to work on, and it's go time for him.
That's awesome. Why didn't he choose UGA? Did he get UGA?
He did get UGA. UGA was one he wanted to go to early on, like freshman, sophomore year. Mm-hmm. He said he wanted 2 offers. He wanted Alabama and he wanted Georgia. And just Georgia, man, it was just so inconsistent on recruiting him, Mm-hmm. They would come in, recruit him for 2 weeks, call, talk, invite him up. Then you wouldn't hear from him in 3 weeks. It was just was a lot of uncertainty. There was a lot of uncertainty there. You know, he got the official offer letter from them, shows that they really recruited him, but they didn't really recruit him like Clemson and LSU.
They didn't go in. I got you.
You know, them guys were checking up with him, calling and talking to him, and eventually, you know, his top five was end up being Clemson, South Carolina, LSU, Alabama. Who else was it at the time? Oh, Tennessee. But it just, you know, Georgia didn't. They didn't. I guess they had a bunch of. They got the lineman classes that, you know, that they wanted in 2024. You know, they had 6 tackles they brought in. All them jokers was 6'7", 325 and up. And they didn't really need any tackles. And then now they got a couple more tackles in this 25 class. So they loaded with linemen in Georgia for a long time. So my son told me his goals and what he want to do. Just going to a place like that wouldn't have helped him do what he needs to do, and he kind of enjoy college the way he needed to. You know,
that's understandable though.
Like always looking over your shoulder. You want to be somewhere where you look over your shoulder, but when you got that many, like he's one of the top guys going to Clemson, and you know they set up for him to at least be able to sit for 1 year and then go in and play if he work hard and do everything like he's supposed to do. Yeah. So 26 games is all you really need to get evaluated by the NFL when it comes down to the draft. So that's kind of what we talked about, and going to a place where you can get those 26 games and not have to wait to only get 12 to 14 in 1 year as a starter. So, you know, I mean, that's what he want to do. So that's what we talked about, and he made his selection depending on, you know, with that. It's just because of that.
How do you feel about the transfer portal?
That's a loaded question.
I don't have anything against the transfer portal. However, it's getting out of hand with all of these different. You got one guy transfer 5 or 6 times going to. I mean, that's what I feel. I mean, I feel like all of these guys should have a right to leave one time and go somewhere where they don't have to transfer down like you and I would have had to do.
Right. Yeah.
If you want to go to another school, you got to transfer down to a smaller school or sit out.
Or you had to sit out. Yeah.
You know, either go down or sit out a year. But I'm not a fan of all of this different transferring from one guy playing at 5, 6 schools. It's just, I think that's a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
I definitely agree, because it's pretty much free agency in college, where if you can literally go play with 3 different teams that are considered front runners every single year, and go chase national championships in college before you even hit the NFL.
Right. And they offer them, you know, and I guess guys hit the portal as much because they get offered money from these other schools and they go get it, which is cool. But I mean, I wouldn't transfer due to money not being able to get paid. I would transfer from not being able to get on the field to showcase my talent. That's why, you know, I left Auburn. I went to Auburn and I was transferred from Auburn to Southern Illinois because I didn't have an opportunity to showcase my ability while I was at Auburn. I was getting trash minutes when we was blowing somebody out. And we weren't that good my junior year, so we were barely blowing anybody out. I got the ball 70 times. Yeah, I got the ball 70 times.
That's nothing.
No. You know, and of course, Ronnie Brown and Cadillac was in front of me. Those guys ended up going 2 and 5 in the draft, that following year when Auburn went undefeated. But I wanted to be able to have fun in college and enjoy playing football. And I just didn't enjoy it there because I was on the bench most of the time. And like I say, we didn't have a whole lot of trash minutes because we weren't that good. You know? We weren't that good. And I got the majority of my 66 I got the majority of my 72 carries against Mississippi State. I got the ball, I don't know 25 times. I had 186 yards. I had 466 yards total. So most of that came in one game. And then it was in there, you know, we played the Western Kentuckies. I got 12, 13, 14 carries against them. You know, those Louisiana Monroe, I got, you know, 8, 9 against them. So that's how my carries came. But a lot of big-time SEC games I never played, and I played against Vanderbilt. I played against Ole Miss. I played against LSU, but I was in there for 1 or 2 plays. I wasn't really enjoying college there like that because I couldn't get on the field. And I'm not saying I would have made us better because we went 8-5. I think we'd have went 8-5 regardless. We talking about 2 guys who went number 2 and number 5 overall.
Right.
You know, we talking about 2 guys that have good running back. So
and I remember that hype too. There was a lot of hype around them 2 boys. Well, I remember a lot.
Mm-hmm. I don't think playing me would have made us any better. You know, I just had to get out of there and go to another situation. Had some guys I went to junior college with that went to Southern Illinois. A couple of, one of the coaches got hired from a junior college to go to Southern Illinois. So I felt like it was a perfect fit for me to transfer there. And I had a blast the 1 season I was there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the political thing to say. I mean, that's what I would say too.
Yeah, man. It was fun.
I don't know if it'd have been any better if I'd have started every game and played every rep. You know, that's the political thing to say.
Start every game there. I was splitting time there with another one of the guys that I was older than. He came from Coffeyville Community College where I went, or
Coffeyville. Yeah.
Him and I said, man, you can start. I felt good coming off the bench. I never had a problem with that. You know, and me and him rushed for 1,000 apiece. I was good. I didn't want all the cake. I just wanted some of the cake. And at Auburn, I couldn't get any of the cake. So I got to get the crumbs off the plate when they were done. Whatever was done, they had some icing over there. I'll scoop up and get the icing, you know, and the rest of the little crumbs that was on, you know, the plate.
Bro, I went to App State. So Appalachian State, if we'd have played Southern Illinois, bro, and you came off the damn bench, I'd be like, you got to be shitting me. This what they got coming off the damn bench right now? Ain't no way.
It was FCS then. It was FCS then at the time, not at D1.
Right. You know, but I mean, I just can picture you coming off the freaking bench, you know, with somebody else in front of you. Like, I'm like, damn, the running back they got is really damn good. But you see the one behind that one? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tripping, bro. Like, I will be freaking.
Cool, man. Like, I was cool coming off the bench. I mean, we had a run first. We had a run first head coach. He was run first, run second, and run third. So we had carries. So I'm like, I ain't tripping about it. I'd rather you go out there when they piss hot anyway. They piss all hot the first down. You go out there and let them do what they do. And now I'm coming in, I'm ready to go. I'm bigger, I'm fast, quick, you know, so and they hitting, you know, they had a series in already. So I was good with coming to this.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I love to hear that, man, you know, because so many of us, we want that rock all the time. Anytime God gonna give it to us, we want to see it, you know. But that's a good segue, man, and going into the talk about your
absolutely
your former team, the Giants. Like, have you been able to watch them all at all this year? And if you have, what have you seen out of them, and why are they struggling so bad?
Well, I don't know, man. I think it's a series of bad coaching, or mixed up with bad coaching and bad playing, bad effort. Things that's free, some things that's isolated, and I think that's what it is. Like, effort is isolated. You know, can nobody else make you or nobody else do what you need to do when it comes time to giving effort, delivering effort, and having the passion. I just think they go on and play, and they got their car started in the parking lot in the first quarter, and they just trying to get in the car. I don't think the game mean a whole lot to them because, especially from where they are now at 2-11, I think. So, I don't know, man. I think when people start to talk about the draft and getting players, and I think a lot of people, especially the Giants, I think they're making mistakes there in my mind with drafting these guys that early on, these quarterbacks early on, that's not going to do anything. And I think it's the same thing for this year. If I was a GM, and people look and talk to me and think I'm crazy when I say this, if I was a GM for a team like the New York Giants, I would trade out of the first round. Because I would trade for volume. I want more picks. I want more kids. I want more guys out the draft. It might give me a better opportunity of winning down the line that get drafted in the fourth round. I got 2 seconds or 3 seconds. I got 2 thirds. I got 3 fours. I got 3 fives. I want players versus getting a guy in the first round early where they're going to be to come play quarterback and he not doing anything. You're on $40 million. You owe $40 million because you took him in the top 5, and now you're sitting with this guy for 4 years and you're giving him his money. We just did the same thing with Kenny Golladay. He came from Detroit, had a great year in Detroit, came to the Giants and didn't do much. They gave him $72 million, something like that. So they still and they're still trying to recover from him. Gave Daniel Jones $160 million. He drafted him number 6 in the draft.
They did.
Well, he had never done anything to earn that, right? So they dealt with that, and I just think it's just picking the wrong guys and going after the wrong guys. For me, I mean, I know now we coming up this year. Cam Ward is great. Shador Sanders is great. But so, Daniel Jones looked good in college as well. They had a lot of quarterbacks that got drafted top 5 that looked great in college and didn't do anything.
They do nothing.
And I just don't want to I'd rather have more players in the draft versus putting everything in on all one guy. I'd rather go get a guy like Jackson Dart in the 2nd round, something like that. Just I don't owe him a whole bunch of money, and if he pissed the bed, then so be it. There's nothing to let go. I drafted him in the 2nd round, so I don't owe him a bunch of money.
The problem with that, the only issue with that, BJ, is that y'all need a QB bad. You just fired your QB, dog, in the middle of the season. So I mean,
they didn't fire him. He asked for his release, Daniel. He went to them people and asked for his release. And
he tapped out.
He tapped out. They were talking about benching him, and he said that he would rather. They were trying to do the Derek Carr to him this year, and they were going to send him home and just pay him to kind of go away for a little bit. And he did one of these things, and
he could have made $17 million. I think $17 million by staying on the roster.
Right. They were going to send him home. They were going to send him home. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he still would have been on the roster. That's what BJ's saying. They was going to keep him on the roster.
Been on the roster.
They were going to send him to the crib and still be on the roster. They would pay him $17 million.
They were essentially.
This was the last year's contract, so they gave him all his guarantee, and I think that was what was left on the salary for this year. Exactly. But he didn't want to be there. Now he goes to Minnesota. I don't know what he's getting there, but he's still a backup.
I don't know why he went to Minnesota anyway, because Sam Darnold is having a career resurgence right now. So,
absolutely. I mean, I was a big Daniel Jones fan, man. I supported Daniel Jones all the way up until really sat down and looked. And I'm like, man, you got guys running around wide open out there. He's not getting the ball. But I think part of that comes from him being so under duress from having a bad offensive line in the prior years. So I don't think that offensive line is bad now.
It's really not.
Think so. Yeah. But I think from him I think he was seeing ghosts. I think the first thing he'll look at on snap is who's getting beat.
Yeah.
Never put his eyes downfield. Yeah. And you got guys running around wide open, and he just can't get him the ball because he's trying to see where pressure is coming from. Yeah. And I just think gunshot. And I think ultimately that's what killed his career with the Giants, or killed him with the Giants.
Hey, Brandon, I want to ask you though, man. You won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants, and you were a part of some really, really, really good football teams in New York. Same ownership is still there. Same person's running the show there. Now you're seeing almost like a purposeful tanking. I'm not trying to accuse them of that, but starting Tommy DeVito is not really. He's not an NFL quarterback, and I mean he's there, but he's not really capable of going against a team such as Baltimore, who they happen to have coming to town this weekend. What is it like for you as a Giants legend, where you were there for the pinnacle of the 2000s and the 2010s, and now you're seeing this? Is it frustrating knowing that this is going on while Saquon, that you praised earlier, is having arguably the best season an NFL running back has ever had in Philadelphia?
Absolutely, which I knew he would have. Well, I sit and I think now.
Me too, B.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, the minute he hit me, I think I'm gonna go to Philly. I said, man, do your thing. Like, do you think that could be a great situation for you? You got help on the outside, you got a quarterback that don't mind pulling the ball down and running. They can never stack the box against you. And if they stack the box against you, you
got 2 receivers. You got 2 receivers that'll go get it.
I say now you kind of reminded me of the teams I had when I played. That. You have Bill Burrs and Amani Toomer out there, Steve Smith, guys like that, that was out there making plays, so, but, to the DeVito situation, I think it's a good story. You know what I mean? I think that's what they're hanging on to now, is the story, since everything else is out of reach. I think it's the story. You talk about the DeVito, originally from North Jersey, Goes to the Giants. He's playing for his childhood team, his dream. And I think that's more the story of what they got to hang on now. But watching them play, it's kind of sad. And I'm like, sometimes they show a whole lot of fighting and sometimes they don't. Like last Sunday, they had a chance to go to overtime and kick a field goal and got blocked. That's not their fault, but there's so many other things throughout that game that got them to that point to where the game shouldn't have been close. But it was, and it's just sometimes it's hard to watch. But I know the guys are out there fighting. I know they're coaching the best of their ability. I just think things can happen differently when it comes to picking guys to be able to
speak your mind, Daniel. What's on your mind?
Man, Brandon been coaching too. I've coached since I retired too, and I went back to Baltimore, did the internship, so I got a chance to see the scouting department side of things too as well. And it just, man, coaching is so crucial. And when I think about even back when I played those 5 years in Baltimore, I also played in the Jets with Herm Edwards my first 2 years in the league. So I know exactly what the Giants are getting from the city of New York because they will boo your ass in 2 seconds if you ain't right. Yeah, New York does not play. I mean, it's the media capital of the world. It's a lot of pressure. It's probably more pressure in New York and the Giants and the Jets than any team in the country as far as media. Like they will be on your ass. They will create the narrative. They will make you look either really, really good or make you look really, really bad, really fast. So when I see a team struggling like this, I always feel like something internally is wrong. When I see a quarterback do what Daniel Jones did, I feel like something internally is wrong. So I feel like being a coach, I coached for almost 9 years after I retired. And seeing it, and just seeing how guys react to you when you bring that energy to them and you bring that belief and that confidence to them, how they play after you bring it. I had guys that didn't even play a snap before I got to Tucker High School. I got to Tucker High School and I coached guys over there that hadn't even played a snap the year before. I put them on my special teams unit and they down there blocking kicks, punts, getting tackles inside the 5 on kickoff. They have the blast. I'm talking about had the best career, best season they ever had. Thank me. Still send me text messages to this day. Thank you, coach, man. I love you, man. You the best coach I ever had. And they couldn't even play for the coaches prior to me getting in there. So when I see these type of situations be like, I automatically assume it starts from the top. And shit just rolls downhill, right? So I feel like there's something going on either in the front office or something going on in that coaching staff. Maybe somebody don't like each other. Maybe somebody sleeping with somebody's wife. I don't know. But whatever it is, the coach.
That's an egregious jump right there.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's egregious.
I'm just saying. Like everything just kind of unraveled right before your eyes.
Escalated quickly.
In New York. It did. It did.
That escalated.
I don't know what it is. I'm just saying. I feel like it's something going on there that's not being relayed to the players. When you see lack of hustle and lack of you talking about all these guys that played for the Giants was all American in colleges and they was everywhere. They was all world, whatever college they came from. They all are high end NFL players. They're just not playing like it right now. And they're not playing together as a team. So I feel like there's something going on in that coaching staff that's causing the ripple. Even with us, we've lost 5 games this year, dude. I blame all 5 of those games. There's something going on in the coaching staff. We didn't get outplayed. We shooting ourselves in the feet. We leading the damn league in penalties. Like it's crazy. When you sit down and watch the Baltimore Ravens game week in and week out, dog, we've lost 5 games by a total of 22 points. Our kicker missed 22 points worth of field goals. You figure that out. Something's going on internally that's messing up something that's causing a ripple effect that pours out onto the field.
And tucking on the ice.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Something's going on. Something's going on, BJ. And you know how important confidence is. I mean, I bounced around from New York to Tampa Bay to NFL Europe before I got my confidence and my swagger back. And I had it when I got to New York. I lost it between New York and Tampa, messing with John Gruden and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then I go to Germany and somehow I get it back. I get my mojo back. And I sign with Baltimore and I start for 5 years. So I know there's something going on that's making these guys play the way they play. And making them not give their effort and run to the ball the way they should. Go ahead.
I knew I would definitely make the call and tell them if I knew, but I know what's happening. I'm not in there with them every day.
Me neither.
I don't really know, man. I just wish at some point it get turned around. I want to do an intern with the Giants. I think I'm gonna put that call in here pretty soon.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna start that.
You'd be a good fit. Trust me. You'd be a great fit.
Brandon, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I know you're cool. You're cool, Daniel. Yeah, you would definitely be your words hold weight. You have 2 Super Bowl rings on your fingers with that franchise, so it holds weight. I do want to ask you though, Brandon, before we wrap the show, for our last segment, the Giants. I know this is a little off topic to the game. What do you think about the new uniforms they unveiled this year for their anniversary season?
I thought they were great. The pants could have been white and not brown, but if pants would have been white, I think it would have been crazy, beautiful. Jersey was nice, but the brown pants, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I just wanted.
It was going back to the leather helmet days, right? That's what they was doing, trying to go back to the leather helmet.
Went back to the leather helmet days, obviously. But those pants would have been white. It would have been
killer.
It would have been nice.
Because the throwbacks, the 80s uniforms are nice.
Yeah, yeah. Just that whole, I shouldn't say brown, that whole tan look with the red and blue on top. I just don't think that mattered. Yeah. You know, but if they were white, I think it would have been great.
Yeah, Brandon. When I did my internship in Baltimore, I did it in the player personnel department. So I wanted to scout versus coach because I had coached in college and all that stuff already. So I wanted to kind of go in the scouting department. So when I went into the scouting department, one of the things I never knew, I used to always think I was competing against my room, the tight end room, the H-back room, right? So I'm thinking I'm competing against Todd Heap and Darnell Dinkins and Terry Jones and Quinn Sipnewski, those guys. And it wasn't until I did the internship that I realized I was competing against every player on the team, and I don't know why I didn't know that as a player. Like I literally thought in order for me to get on the team and play and to make the squad every single year as an undrafted free agent, I'm competing against the guys in my room, but when you go in the scouting department, they always break it down from the very best player on the team to the last player on the team. So when I was that bubble guy for those first 3 years of my career, I was the bubble guy because I was right there in that 52, 55, 56, 58, 60 range. And I needed to be on that front end of the range. And once I seen that, like it kind of really dictates to me how I got to start thinking as a player. And if I'd have known that as a player, I could have probably thought differently, right? Because my drive and my ingenuity would have been different on what my reasoning was to be better week in and week out. Yeah. I kept looking at the guys next to me like, bro, I know I'm better than this dude. I'm watching the guy on TV, bro. I'm so much better than these tight ends, dog. They can't run with me. They can't catch the ball like me. They can't run routes like me. I'm better than these dudes. But I was never competing against the other tight ends. I was competing against every player on the team. So if I'm in Baltimore right now and I got Lamar Jackson on my team, everybody knows Lamar Jackson is the best freaking player on the team. He's the number 1 player on that team. And then they're going to go to the number 2 guy, then the number 3 guy. And that's how they go about structuring your contracts. Who we going to make sure we get signed first right away and all that type of stuff. And I didn't get my first contract until I was in year 5, So in year 5, when year 5 came or year 6 came and they started to give me my contract, they called me first in free agency because I was up. That shit meant, it meant the world to me, bro. Like it meant everything to me. So, getting on that side of things to kind of see how they actually graded us. And I went out there every single week and graded all the tight end, the Mark Andrews, the Hurst at the time. And we had, who's the other, Nick Boyle. We had all those guys at the time. Yeah. So when I got a chance to go out there and grade those guys week in and week out, I explained to them, who I thought was the best tight end, the second tight end, the third tight end, the fourth tight end on the team. And then I would have to look at the tackles and I would have to talk about Running Stanley and those guys too as well. And it was great, man. It was a great opportunity for me and it really enlightened me and kind of gave me a different perspective on how to recruit or how to coach or how to even, teach, when I'm talking to these guys. So even through my mentorship parts where I've had conversations with young athletes, whether they're NFL or college, that mindset from that one off season I spent in Baltimore changed my entire outlook on how to help these guys prepare to become the best version of themselves they could possibly be.
Absolutely. And it works, man. I've been coaching. I coached up to high school level. I run a youth program. I learned how to coach. I learned how to coach as my kids was learning how to play football. Yeah. And I had a close bond with a lot of my boys, man. I got 19 of the 29 or 28 I had going to college to play football. And I'm talking about big, not, they got some going to some smaller schools, but, just being able to work and identify talent and identify what kids are going to be. A lot of kids I have on my team now that's playing now high school, they played the same position when they were a youth, other than one kid who's happened to be one of the top tight ends in the country. I had him playing tackle. Then I took him playing tackle. He wanted to play quarterback. I gave him a shot at playing quarterback. Now he's going to UGA to play tight end. So, I mean,
wow.
But most of the kids I have, I've recognized what they are. I've recognized exactly what they are, and that's what they're playing.
That's dope. That's real dope. And that's Matt. That's one of the things that's underrated in this league. You know, I bounced around my first 3 or 4 years in the league. Nobody knowing what I was because I was undersized as a tight end. You know, so I played fullback and tight end and slot receiver and receiver. Then I ended up getting to Baltimore. They say you're an H-back. You know, so being able to evaluate talent, like Brandon was just talking about, being able to evaluate talent is huge. You know, like that's what OCs are missing and DCs are missing. That's where they lose the creativity of how to beat teams sometimes. And that's what I think we're struggling with right now in Baltimore. When I look at why we're not winning games and why our defense is playing like absolute crap, you know, somewhere along the line, we're missing the evaluation process of what these guys could actually do. How can I put this guy in a situation to be his best self every single play? And that's what we're kind of missing right now. We got to figure that out. You know, so go ahead, Matt, let's go ahead and try to wrap this up. 'Cause I know Brandon probably got to go eat or go see his kids or something.
That's true.
All right. Brandon, this is the last segment of our show. We'd like to pick an offensive and defensive player of the game and give a score prediction. Since you are our guest, go ahead and give us your thoughts on who's going to be the offensive player of the game, defensive player of the game, and what is your final score prediction for Sunday in the Meadowlands?
Offensive player of the game, I'm gonna go with Derek. Derek healthy, right? He's playing. He's
healthy.
Yeah,
he cut his dreads
just cut his hair. Yeah, he cut his dreads off this week.
He did.
He's cornrow Derrick Henry now. He cut the dreads.
Oh shit!
It was all the way down his back, like literally like below his shoulder blade. But he cut them all the way off, and now he kind of like he got just a little bit of hang time right now with the braids.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Okay, in defense, as I know, the Giants sometimes have trouble getting to the second level. The linebacker, what's his name? Zero.
Roquan Smith.
Oh, Brian Burns.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with that.
He's talking about Baltimore. He's not giving it to the
he's talking about Baltimore Zero?
Yeah,
okay.
He's talking about players who came for the winners, right? You think the Giants might actually beat the
Ravens? I know that's right. All right, I got you. I'm with you 100%. I was there the whole time with you, Brandon. I was there with you the whole time.
Oh, you with me, right? Okay.
I followed. I was trying to throw a joke in there. That's all.
You can't be the player of the game if you're losing.
That's right. You sure can. No MVPs for you, bro.
No, I can't even go to pick. I mean, give me Dexter Lawrence.
Okay.
Dexter Lawrence.
Give me Dexter. Now he's one of the best, if not the best, defensive tackle in the whole National Football League, in my mind.
Okay.
For me, he's a whole havoc and a half down there.
Okay. Dexter Lawrence.
And so if I had to go offense, I'm gonna go with the guy who touched the ball a little bit more than is Tyrone Tracy.
Tracy.
That would be my picks for the Giants.
Gotcha.
They're gonna need both of them if they're gonna win this game. Absolutely.
I agree. All right, who you got winning this game? What's the score prediction?
I'm gonna go with the Ravens, obviously, and I'm gonna go 31-14.
31-14 Ravens. I appreciate the love on the defensive shout out. 14 points, baby. I take that all day.
You know it.
We've been crapping down our legs all year. Go ahead, Matt. Who you got?
I'm not gonna copy off Brandon and say Derrick Henry.
I am. I'm gonna copy off his ass.
I know you are. That's your thing. I know you don't care about that. I'm gonna go. This is gonna be a Lamar Jackson game. I think this is gonna be one of those situations where he has over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. Whether through the air or on the ground. I think he's electric off the bye. He's electric off of following a loss. I think this is going to be one of his stellar, like 2024 showcase kind of games. And it's against I'm not. It's any given Sunday, but the Giants are really kind of folded the season already. Yeah,
you can say it like you
they folded for the year already. They're just trying to get, like you said, they're trying to get to the golf course right now. Earlier in the show, Brandon, but my My defensive player of the game, I think, is going to be Kyle Hamilton. I think that he is going to be all over the field Sunday, and I think he's going to have a good game. My final score prediction, 38-13 Ravens.
38-13.
38-13. Tuck gets a field goal.
Okay, Tuck. Welcome back, Tucker. That's what I'm talking about, dog.
It's been really kind of sad seeing just the way things have been going for him the last few weeks, though, man. Because I'm a fan of Justin Tucker, and I'm like, man,
me too.
What's going on with?
We love Tuck on the show.
He's normally ice.
Yeah, we had Matt Stover on right before
last week.
Yeah, last week. Yeah, we had Matt Stover come on. You know, he was my kicker all 5 years in Baltimore, and we used to call Matt Money Matt. You know, he never missed either. So, you know, to bring him on and kind of hear his breakdown about what he felt like is going on with Tucker was spot on. I felt like he might have been 100% accurate. You know, and I'm gonna keep praying.
It's missing anxiety is what it is. So when he missed that first kick, then he missed the second one. He walked up when it was time to kick with having, please don't miss, and that can do it to you, man.
Yeah, you remember what was the baseball move? Was it Bull Durham or something like that, where the guy used to talk to his back and he had the little J Boo, you don't miss me.
Major League. That's Major League.
Yeah.
Pedro Serrano.
That's exactly what you're talking about right there, BJ.
Yeah, that's J Boo. Right there.
He said, J Boo, if you don't hit the ball this time, J Boo, then fuck you, J Boo. He lost his mind. All right, Wilcox, my two players of the game. On offense, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna go Lamar and Derek. You know, I just feel like they finna go.
That's a cop out.
Matt. Shut up, Matt. I'm gonna go.
That's a cop out.
I'm gonna take Lamar and Derek because I feel like Lamar mom just told his ass he need to run more. So I feel like Lamar about to go the hell off this week. I feel like he about to snap. So I'm gonna say Lamar, and I feel like it's gonna be the Lamar and Derrick Henry show. And I feel like if New York had to try to stop anything, they're gonna try to stop the run this week. You know, that's what I would try to do if I was going against the Baltimore Ravens. How can I stop the run? I'm putting 9 in the box. You know, every time. You know,
one thing about the Giants, though, man,
they
haven't given up a whole lot of yardage on the ground.
Right.
They have not given up. They getting out penalty wise. They can't stop getting penalties for some reason. They're trying to football.
Neither can we.
Defensively, though, they haven't done too bad against the run this year.
Right. And see, so I feel like, you know, we're the number one rushing offense in the league right now, right? So if that's the case, they're going to have to try to stop the run. You know, it's a no-brainer for me to stop Derrick Henry, stop Lamar Jackson, stop Justice Hill. So I would try to pinpoint on those, but I just don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. And I think they're just going to try to have their way with them boys this week for some reason. I feel like defensively, I'm going to go with the front. I need the defensive line to really show up this week. What's your favorite guy, Matt? It's Nate something, right?
Travis Jones. I'm going with Travis Jones. I feel like Travis Jones is going to have a hell of a game this week, and I'm going to go with him on defense. I feel like the defensive front is going to be the difference maker in this entire game for some reason. And so I'm going to go with Travis Jones on defense. And then as far as score prediction, I feel like I feel this with all my heart. I feel like the Ravens have to do something to kind of start showing people that they for real. You know, because I thought they was for real 10 weeks ago, 12 weeks ago, day one. I just knew this year was a Super Bowl year for us. And now with us losing 5 games, hell, it got me second guessing all my thoughts and scratching my head. So
I'll put y'all in the Super Bowl when they had free agency. After free agency, when they signed Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I did the same thing.
Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, I said it's a wrap, you know, but I felt like we've fallen apart coaching this year. When you watch us coaching, it's kind of mind-boggling. If you really pay attention to the game, some of the play calls, the decision-making, decision-makings that we're doing, I feel like it's just – and even just the way the defense is playing all together. You know, we got a new DC. He's a former player, so I want to see Zach do great, you know. But for some reason, I don't know if they sabotaging him or something, but it ain't flowing right now. And defensively, we just haven't been the Baltimore Ravens of old. So I'm going to say we're going to make a statement with points. I'm going to say we're going to score at least 42. By ourselves, and I think our defense is going to show up. They showed up last week, the week before last, big time. So I'm going to say 42-17. All right.
Okay.
Ravens win. Derek.
Well, we'll see who's closer.
Yeah, we'll see if Derek come and show up this week or not. BJ, man, thank you so much, man, from the bottom of my heart for coming on.
No problem. I appreciate you guys having me, man.
Yeah, we love having your insight, man, and we wishing the Giants and the organization well and wish they continue to grow and get better. We just don't want them to happen this week, but we love you, bro.
I don't blame you, but I hope things change as well, man. I mean, I want to go and work and help them as best of my ability from the scout department from that area. At some point, I want to end up being a GM. So at some point,
I love that.
I would love to have that opportunity.
We're pulling for you.
To build a team.
One of my biggest issues, Derek, is how they don't value a lot of our opinions a lot. And I don't know what happened along the line that kind of make them want to not hear what we have to say sometimes. But I think they should value a lot of the especially the higher end players, opinions a lot more and respect them a lot more. Even though we didn't coach all these years, we played all these years with supposedly the best coaches in the world, right? So if we got the best coaches in the world, we've been coached by some of the greatest, like, doesn't that stand for something? Right?
Yeah. I hear you. I get it. Well, what you guys think about these quarterbacks coming out of college? I don't mean to jump in.
No, you're good.
You're good. You're good.
You want to stay on longer? We'd love to have you on longer.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about this? If you needed a quarterback,
I'm going with Shedeur. I'm going with Shedeur.
You got to go Shedeur. You got to.
That's my
first. I like Shedeur. However, he has so much dictatorship. Who's going to want to work hand in hand with Deion Sanders with his son at quarterback?
I don't think they're going to have to. I don't think they're going to have to. If an OC is smart, he would have Deion on speed dial. Just to know how to deal with a kid like Shedeur. And I think that's what OC should do every single year. I don't care who the coach is. You should have whoever that guy's mentor is or whoever that guy's, that gets that guy's mind going, you should have him on speed dial. I don't give a damn if it's his dad, if it's his coach, I don't care who it is. You should have communication with him so you know how that guy ticks. If you want to be the best OC in the country, you should know your players inside and out. And that's the thing that they hate about us when we go to coach in college, because the players relate to us so much as players, and they give us this instant respect that they can't get from the players. And they hate us for it, so they don't want us to coach. So in my mind, if you're a great OC, you got Deion number on speed dial. Hey, man, let me get your number. Anything I need help with Shedeur, I want to be able to call you right away because I want this kid to be successful. If he's successful, I'm successful. If he do great, I do great. It shouldn't be an issue at all to me. So mentally, that's the mindset of these guys that don't want to feel inferior or don't want you to know that they don't know what the hell they're talking about half the time.
Right, and I wish that's the case. I think Shedeur is a clear-cut number one guy. Yeah. I love watching him play. I love watching him make plays the pocket, moving around in the pocket. He's not afraid to go after a play. He feel like he can make. That's crazy, but I really love him as the first quarterback. Taken. And again, I'm not sure if this stuff is true about Deion not wanting to go to certain teams. I'm not sure how true any of that, because that has been done with Eli.
I don't blame him though. I really don't blame him.
Yeah. So like that's what I mean as far as the dictating part of it from teams.
Gotcha. Right? Understood.
Yeah, like that. Understood. Not that he's going to be. You need to do this. You need to no.
Understood.
Being able to pick Shedeur and know you can keep Shedeur on your roster and not Deion sitting here talking about where he wanted him to go. And you know what I'm saying? I'm saying for that reason. But as we know, Archie Manning did it with Eli. Right? Yeah. He did it with Eli. I mean, if Deion wants Shedeur in a place where it's good for his growth as a quarterback in the National Football League and can turn him into a Hall of Fame player that he wants him to be, he can put him in the right situation to be able to do that.
I agree with you 100%. Like, to me, that wouldn't bother me at all. And I think what Deion is trying to do is just trying to make sure his kid don't go to one of those teams that's going to sinkhole his kid. Like the same shit just happened to Russell Wilson. The same shit that just kind of happened to Daniel Jones. Like some of these coaches will make you or break you. And you're like, man, why this kid suck so bad in the league, bro? But he was so phenomenal in college, and he got to the league and disappeared because the same shit that happened to Johnny Manziel. They can't. As soon as Baker Mayfield. Same, like you got somewhere finally where somebody believes in them and they really wholeheartedly think that this kid is a great player and they're gonna help mature that stuff. And Raheem Morris in Atlanta is a good prime example of that. Right here in our city, BJ. Like Raheem, I know Raheem personally. He was with me with the Jets and with Temple. So Raheem is a guy that's gonna motivate his guys and build his guys up. He's not a coach that's gonna hammer and beat his guys down. So Deion just don't want to see his kid go to somebody that's gonna tear down what he's built up all these years. And I think that's what it comes down to. So that's when he's saying, I'm make sure he ain't going to go to certain franchise because he already know. He know inside and out because he know every freaking body in the world down there. So I can't be mad at Prime. If I had that kind of influence on my own kid and he was going to be the first pick overall in the draft, if I had that kind of influence in the league, period, please. You think I'm not going to pull those strings for my kid and put them in the best situation
Absolutely.
possible?
I don't care what people are talking about.
Right.
I want my boy to go to a place where, like, say my son, for instance, 3-4 years from now, he's a top tackle coming out. Well,
number one tackle, the number one tackle coming out in 4 years from now, 3 years from now, whatever he decided to play. If he red shirt 4 years, if he don't red shirt 3, he's the number one tackle coming out. We're gonna speak it in existence right now.
No, I truly believe
it. I believe it too.
Look, I coach camps all throughout the country.
Mm-hmm.
I see linemen all throughout the country in these camps, right? I don't think nobody better than my boy. And I'm not saying that just being biased, because I could honestly, you know, one kid by the name of Ron Gasson who's really good. I really like Ron. We're here from Atlanta, play for Westlake.
Okay,
Big,
Westlake, Cam Newton High School.
350, athletic, move really well. There's another kid, David Sanders from North Carolina. He signed with Tennessee. Okay. Ron just signed with Georgia. So those are, if you ask me, is my son and them other two guys right there who's gonna, I think, make a splash for being that number one tackle. Okay. But I think my boy is definitely at the top of the list because of his attributes. He can run.
I seen some of the highlights you posted online, boy.
He's quick, you know, he does a lot. So I mean, I don't see.
What's his nickname, BJ? What's his nickname?
Well, I just only called him Braden his whole life. I've never called him.
Really? You ain't gave him a nickname yet?
Bray, B-R-A-Y. That's about it.
You should have gave his ass Mac. He should be Mac because he like a Mac truck. He be running over these dudes like an 18-wheeler.
I'm proud of him, man.
I'm proud of him too. I ain't never even met him at least I don't think I might have met him out there at one of your camps or something one time, but I didn't realize it was him. You know, but yeah, I might have met him at maybe one of your camps or something or something that you was doing with the kids or something. Because I've been to a couple of things that you guys have done and been around for some of this stuff. You know, but that's dope, bro. Like I recruited Milton when I was at Georgia military coaching. And I came up to recruit Milton High School. It's a beautiful campus, man. It's a great school. I'm happy he got a chance to be a part of that. It's a great program and great facilities, everything. I love it.
Yeah, man. D, I'm gonna ask you too. Hey, let me know if you got some connections in the FCS, like Division 2-3 type coaches. I got some kids that's D1 guys, but this portal is hurting them and they're not getting opportunity. I'm trying to get these kids settled in the school where they can go and continue their education, man.
I'm sure I do. I got to look it up and see, but I'm almost 100% positive I do. I still got coaches. Man. Yeah, I still got coaches hit me up, man, asking me where I'm at right now. I ain't coached in 6 years now. And they still asking me where I'm at. Hey, coach, where you at? I'm at the crib. I'm building houses and bathrooms and kitchens right now. I ain't doing nothing. Yeah, I got you. I will. I got one guy right in mind right now. I'm gonna plug you in with him when we hang up. Said Williams.
I appreciate you guys having me, man. I got to go.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on.
It's our pleasure. Thanks, BJ. Appreciate you, bro.
No doubt.
Take care. All right, Cap.